Dear students, I welcome you once again in this lecture session. Today's lecture is for BA 6th semester. The story which I will do the discussion is The Middleman by Bharti Mukherjee. This is the title story in Bharti Mukherjee's collection The Middleman and Other Stories. The story is narrated in first person narrative by an Iraqi Jew, Alfi Judah, who is a naturalized American citizen. The story takes place in an unnamed country in Central America, where Alfie becomes involved in guerrilla warfare, guerrilla insurgency, evoking the degeneration and deterioration of modern world. T.S. Eliot writes in his poem Hollow Man, quote, "This is the dead land. This is cactus land. Here the stone images are raised." Unquote. In the story, the middleman, Bharti Mukherjee, projects such downfall and corruption of this world. This world is been portrayed as dog eat dog world, means a fiercely competitive, where there exists cutthroat competition. This world is overpowered by ruthlessness, by immorality, deceit, self interest, money madness, adultery, cynicism, violence, and the underworld of the smuggler, and especially the American dream. That is the important theme in most of the stories which were published in this collection, Middlemen and Other Stories. What is American dream? American dream means to dream to become prosperous, the wealthiest man by anyhow, by using any kind of means. With irony and satire, Bharti Mukherjee is revealing the superficial aspects of American life. This story is a story of lust, betrayal, murder. The characters are American immigrants, expatriates. Alfie, the narrator, Clovis T. Ransom, a businessman having a big ranch, friend of Clovis, Bud Wilkins, Ransom's beautiful, seductive wife, Maria, and ruthless lover of Maria, Andreas. The story is narrated by main protagonist. He is the narrator and protagonist of the story. He is a Jew, newly naturalized American citizen. Originally, he is from Baghdad, Iraq. He is depicted in the story, he is a wheeler dealer. Wheeler dealer means a person who engages in commercial or political scheming, and he's been portrayed as a hustler. Hustler means a person who is a fraud, a swindler, a scammer. And Alfie manages to make a living from things that fall. He gets people what they need, whether it's a guns, drugs, or cars, and he knows how to survive in this rough world. He was forced to flee to the United States, however, because the authorities discovered an illicit fund he was maintaining for New Jersey judges. As he says, quote, "My dealings can't stand too much investigation," unquote. Now he is living in Central America. He is hoping to make his way to the United States. So coming from Baghdad, wanted to go to United States, and meanwhile he is staying in the Central America. He is the embodiment of the cynicism that is at the heart of the story. He is only concerned with outfitting the participants in the civil war. He knows the rules of survival. In this world, the people, they are very well aware to survive in this world, they have to adopt any ways, let it be mean or let it be of any kind. And these are the ways which govern his life. There is no moral code, nothing, no decency, no right path, neither in the life of Alfie or any character. In fact, Alfie has no concept of right and wrong and does not even acknowledge that such things exist in this world. He says, quote, there's just supply and demand running the universe, unquote. So in this universe, the people are asking and the other are giving. So the asking, it depends upon the self motives, and the giving is also depend upon the self interest. This must be a chilling world in which to live, in which there is neither God nor moral law. Here works only one principle, and that principle is economic principle. And this principle is followed by all the characters in the story. Nonetheless, it is a world to which Alfie, even though he is a outsider, is well attuned. He is a shrewd operator. As he says, I calculate margins. As he speculates about whether a night with Maria would be worth any consequences that might result, everything for Alfie is a profit and loss calculation, even when it comes to lust and adultery. Alfie has attached himself for the time being to Clovis T. Ransom, although he expects to be able to return to the United States eventually. Alfie is dark skinned, which means he is spared. The hatred the local people have for Americans. No one knows how to place him. To some, he is Arab. To others, an Indian. Alfie is a womanizer. Confessing his weakness, he says, quote, I must confess my weakness. It's women. Unquote. He felt seduced seeing Ransom's wife, Maria. He lusts after her and wants to procure her. He somehow manages to win her favors, if only for one night, and he suffers no consequence for this act of adultery. He also survives when the guerrilla come to kill Ransom. No one cares much about Alfie, so the guerrillas do not bother to kill him. As a result, he survives and seems to relish the prospect of walking into San Vicente, the capital city, talking to people and finding some other way of keeping himself aloof. As he says, quote, there must be something worth treading in the travels I have seen, unquote. Clovis T. Ransom, the another character, he is an expatriate, a swindler. He is having a ranch, owner of a ranch, and he is a trader of illegal goods. And Alfie works for him. He likes to live in luxury. According to Alfie, Ransom has, quote, spent his adult life in tropical paradise playing God. So this is a world, the moment the people have power, they start playing like God. Or they consider themselves God, but they don't become the God, but they become the demigod, creating or bringing disasters in this world. Ransom fled Waco, Texas with $15 million in petty cash that he had obtained fraudulently. He just managed to escape the investigators from the Securities Exchange Commission. Ransom is a player in the ruthless political game that operates in this unnamed country. It appears that he runs a protection racket to shield President Gutierrez from his many enemies. This may have been how he acquired the beautiful Maria, his wife, who was formerly the president's mistress. He abuses his wife Maria, ill treats her, beats her, and uses her body for his business purpose. And his immorality and violent temperament can be seen when, to kill his friend Bud Wilkins, he arranges for the guerrillas. It also appears that he cynically tries to play one group off against another, a strategy that eventually cost him his life. Maria, another character who deserves our attention, she is dark, sensuous, liberated Latin woman. She has a number of affairs with men. She is also involved in guerrilla warfare. When Maria was at the age of 14, she was about to marry to the guerrilla insurgency leader Andreas, who was a tall, handsome man. Maria was taken away by Gutierrez, the Minister of Education, when he visited his school. Like other characters in the story, this president of education is also a corrupted man who pays retainers to various armed groups and also to ransom to protect him. He's afraid of his attack, so he is paying money to many people so that he could be saved. Maria expects Alfie to take her away from Chloe's. She supplies gun to Andreas with the help of Alfie. Maria brought him to Andreas' place secretly. As on an errand, Alfred realizes that the reason she made him drive there is to traffic weapons for none other reasons than to backstab ransom. He says, quote, so Bud Wilkins' little shipment is hijacked and I am the culprit. Some job of a middleman, unquote. When Maria sees Andres, she, quote, throws herself on him. It seems that two separated lovers are now meeting. Ransom is been killed by the gun of Andreas, and it is Maria who kills him. Here is a classical example, a wife murdering her husband for survival. The relationship that exists between wife and husband is purely sexual. There is no love, no affection for each other. Olfie was forsaken by Maria because she made love to him. Ransom's co-worker, Bud Wilkins, is like other characters interested in profit making by supplying arms, and he supplies arms to the highest bidder. His arms and his weapons is used to kill him, and he is bringing devastation to this poor country by the use of his arms. He cares nothing for peace, but violent nature is always been shown. Okay, at a one point of a time, it has been shown when he arrives at the ranch, he backs his pickup truck hard against a tree and disturbs a bird, at which he says, or he does, quote, lines it up with an imaginary pistol and curls his finger twice in the direction, unquote. The incident shows the thoughtless violence that lurks everywhere in this environment. Life is cheap, whether human life or wildlife. No one here hesitates to kill anyone. Another example occurs when Maria comes with Alfie to her place, and there is a man who wants to kill Alfie. Although nobody has done any harm to anyone, But the people, for self-interest, for self-motive, or maybe for fun, they want to kill anyone. Life is no important, neither the life of an animal or life of a human being. Even bird was attacked by a group of gorillas, and Alfred knows that they were being sent by ransom. Eduardo, he is a houseboy at Ransom's ranch. He seems rather nervous and overacts when he has to kill two stray ocean crab in the kitchen. And he is the person who is responsible for opening the house of his master and bringing the insurgents in the house. He hates the foreigners, gringos. Alfie is a middleman, both literally and figuratively, in several ways. Alfie is literally and psychologically caught between different worlds, different identities, and in his job and position. That is very much being suggested by the title, a middleman. He is an intermediary or agent between two parties. Alfie is also a middleman in terms of his cultural identity. He is a Iraqi with a tenuous and questionable American passport, doing work in an unnamed Latin American country. Thus, he is between two cultures and two cultural identities, that of his Iraqi origins and that of his current Americanized life. But he does not belong to any place. He is a middleman. Neither he is a true Jew nor he is a true American. He makes his living as the middleman in illegal arms deals. He works as a middleman by arranging guns, narcotics, automobiles. He works as a go-between in the sale of illegal merchandise. He becomes a middleman between the landowner's attractive wife Maria and her lover Andreas in plotting to kill and rob the landowner. So a middleman between Maria and Andreas, a middleman as country voice, a middleman as a verb. So his position, identity, belongingness, so literally, psychologically, every way, he is a middleman. The story narrates the situation of degenerated man, their ruthlessness, and the way they exploit the people and the way the people are being exploited. So the worst condition of exploiter and exploited. And this world is dog eat dog world, where one can harm anyone without any conscience, without any feeling. So here everybody is interested in self-interest. So the condition of the weaker people in this world is like a bunch of scrawny black birds. As the narration goes, quote, the bird is so ill-fed, so cramped and tortured and clumsy, it flutters wildly, losing more feathers merely to keep its perch, unquote. Though Alfie was at the end left unscathed, means unable to understand, shocked. But he is shocked, and like Coleridge's ancient mariner, he feels too obliged to express his bitter experience, the experience which he has gained in this unnamed country. So he is sharing his shocked experience with his readers in this country. Thank you, student. See you soon.